if you noticed the last time you went into the grocery store or Walmart or Menards or anywhere, it's candy season in America. You get, woohoo! I thought it would be fun to see which candy you guys love the most. So I'm going to name a candy, and based on how loud you cheer for the candy, we'll know which one that you really like the most. Okay, let's start with gross stuff like candy corn. Okay, we need more discipleship over here. How about Snickers? Snickers fans? How about Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Oh, I don't know if anybody's going to beat that. York Peppermint Patty? Anybody? Those are the fun ones. What? Reese's Pieces? Reese's Pieces? Peanut M&Ms? Yeah. I'm pretty sure Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That sounds like the winner. That's a good one. When I was growing up, I loved candy, but my parents didn't love dentist bills. So they regulated how much candy I was allowed to eat. My brother and I had a little glass jar, and can I have a piece of candy? Yeah, you can have one, and we get one. Okay? And that's kind of how we run at our house. And candy was regulated everywhere except for the Cub Scout Christmas party. Mom and Dad dropped me off at the Cub Scout Christmas party, and there was a buffet of candy and no parent to tell me no. And so at 7 years old, I did what any 7-year-old would do. I'm like, you guys are cheering for all of them? Like, me too. I'm cheering for all of them. And it's specifically, I remember, you'll know why in a minute, these candies, you remember these? It's like a gold doubloon, and inside is like a Nestle Crunch Bar knockoff. You remember those? Like the gold coins? And there was a whole basket of like Christmas gold coins. And so I had an enormous amount of candy. It's a wonder. It's thank God I don't have diabetes today. An enormous amount of candy. Great time at the party. And then Mom and Dad came back to take me home. And I brushed my teeth and I laid down in bed to go to sleep. And I was in bed for about 30 minutes before the fun party inside of my stomach started to turn the other way around. And it began to be not a fun party inside. And I thought, oh no, I'm rapidly becoming sick to my stomach. I need to go tell Mom and Dad I don't feel good. And so I got up out of my bed, and I'm going down the hallway, and I was halfway through the hallway, and I was trying to get the words, I feel, out of my mouth. But before the word sick came out of my mouth, the sickness came out of my mouth. Parents, you understand, carpet in the hallway. And you're like, kid, you're 9 feet from the toilet. I didn't make it to the toilet. Right there, just blah, and all of the gold doubloons came right back out, all processed. Okay? You're like, this is gross. Why do I come here in the morning to hear this? I learned a valuable lesson in that December evening, that sometimes more is not better. Sometimes there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. And it turns out it's not just a valuable life lesson. It's actually something that God shared in his wisdom to humanity in the Bible. We're going to look at that as we start a new series called Making Change. And the first thing that we're going to focus on is this idea that less is more. You see these neat little emblems back here. And let me just take a minute to thank Pastor Craig Groeschel and Life Church in Oklahoma. They gave us permission to use all of their media, all of this cool videos and like the thumping countdown. They said, hey, you can use it all. Well, this is something they put together, but it's such a great truth. I want to share it with you. Sometimes in life, less is more. Here's what God says to humanity. Here's wisdom from the guy who designed your body, who designed your mind, who looked in the future and saw all human culture. And he says this, Ecclesiastes 4:6. He says, better is one handful with tranquility than 2 handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. It's better. 2 handfuls is fun, but in the long run, better 1 handful with tranquility than 2 handfuls with chasing after the wind. It would have been better if I could go back in a time machine to 7-year-old Chris. It would have been better to have 1 handful of candy and a good night's sleep than 17 handfuls of candy and a really uncomfortable return on my investment. And so I want to talk to you about that today, and I want to look at this. And I understand some of you guys are like, well, I don't overindulge, Pastor Chris. I know that there's such thing as too much of a good thing. And so I'm not in the practice of that. I just want enough. I just live with enough. And that sounds great, but the problem is you live in perhaps the most materialistic society that has ever been on the face of the planet. And the idea of enough is kind of a moving target. Watch this.
In 1950, the average new home in America was 1,000 square feet with one bathroom and a one-car garage. Today, the average new home is over 2,500 square feet, 2.5 bathrooms, and 2.5-car garage. We have more in this country than we've ever had before, and that's because more is fun. Write that down in your notes. More is fun. What's better than one car? 2 cars. What's better than having 1 TV? 5 TVs, 1 in every room so you never miss a play. What's better than having 2 kids? No kids at home. When they move out and you have those rooms, now I can fill them with even more stuff. And we fill those 2,500 square foot homes with so much stuff that we have to get extra storage units to keep all of the extra stuff because we want more, more, more. I once saw a meme that said, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy jet skis. Have you ever seen anyone unhappy on a jet ski? More is fun, and you didn't need me to tell you that. Everything in society, all the advertisements tell you that. What they don't tell you is that more is also exhausting. Write that down in your notes. In order to get so much more, we had to, as a society, work so much more. In 1950, less than 1/4 of American households were dual income. Today, almost 2/3 of them are dual income. And all that extra work takes a toll on our bodies and our minds. We just weren't designed for that much. A recent study found that 40% of women feel rushed all the time. Think about that. All the time. Maybe you can relate. Another study found that over 50% of American dads feel like they don't spend enough time with their kids. Why? Because they're spending all of their time making all of the money to get all of the stuff. It's why Jesus said this. He said, watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. More is fun, but it's exhausting. It's why God said it's better to have one handful with tranquility. So let me ask you, what would tranquility look like in your life? Maybe it would be just being able to get a good night's sleep without the worries and concerns of an overcrowded schedule or a lot of bills due. Maybe it would be sitting down on a consistent basis to have dinner together as a family. Maybe it would be chilling on the back porch with an iced tea and just watching the leaves as they slowly fall to the ground and enjoying the season that you're in. Or maybe for you, tranquility is as simple as being able to open bills without getting heart palpitations, wondering how you're going to make it this month. Tranquility is better, and God wants that for you. You can have it, but it's going to cost you something. In order to get tranquility, you're going to have to break up with stuff.
40% of women in America say, I'm always busy. I'm constantly rushing. Can I just say, no wonder anxiety is at an all-time high. We're so busy all the time. 50% of dads are like, I know I don't spend enough time with the kids. That's been me. You got to break up with stuff. If you want to get healthy, if you want to find balance in your life, you have to break up with stuff. And that starts here. I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to break up with stuff. Write this down. The first one is this. You need to cut back. You need to cut back. Okay? Having less stuff starts with intaking less stuff. How many, not today, okay, but at some point in your life, how many have ever been broke? Anybody? I know what it's like to be broke. Yeah, pretty much. All right. Okay. Some of you guys are like, this morning when I checked the bank account. Okay. Come to financial peace. All right. If you've been there, and I've been there, when you're broke, it is really easy to tell the difference between wants and needs. Because if you mess that up, you starve. Okay? When you're broke, it's really easy to explain to your kids the difference between wants and needs. And I hate that it's this society in America, but you know, when you're broke, Santa's elves are having a hard time building that. Okay? But we can build this other thing and have it for Christmas. Right? It's easy. It's easy to say, I want a new truck. I don't need a new truck. I just need to get to work on time. I want the new iPhone, but I don't need a new iPhone. I can get the iPhone 4X whatever, and it still makes phone calls. I'll get that other stuff when I have more. The problem is the line between want and need gets blurrier the more money you have. Because all of a sudden, I don't need it, but I kind of need it, and I have the money to get it. It's this thing, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, lifestyle creep. Have you ever heard that term? That's a new one. It's this idea that when you make more money, you end up just a little bit at a time. Well, let me go ahead and get the deluxe version of Netflix because I need it because all of my kids need these iPads and they need to all watch it at the same time. And this thing gets into us where we have all of this stuff and we feel like we need it. In reality, there's so much that I don't have to have. And when you have a bunch of stuff you don't need, it clutters up your life. And I understand it's hard because stuff is fun, and I like stuff, okay? I have nice toys. When you grow up, you still have toys. They're just really expensive toys. I have a few of those, okay? And I like stuff the same as you do. And so the idea of letting go and not getting new stuff is really depressing. I was talking to Judah yesterday, okay? Shopping is not fun when you're a walking coat hanger, right? But shopping is a lot of fun when you're the one doing the shopping and you find some really good deals. And I'm a sucker for a good deal. And all of the time I buy stuff that I don't actually need. But man, this is such a good deal. Can't pass that up. Right? Okay. So here's what I want to help you with. Okay. Think about it this way. Write this down. Cutting back is not losing something. It's trading something. Okay. Cutting back in your life. I should reframe it. It's not losing something, it's trading something. Because everything that you buy comes with two costs. And we always think of one and we always forget the other. Everything that you buy has a dollar cost, but it also has a lifestyle cost. Because you must do something to gain enough dollars to spend this. You say, well, I have enough dollars. Okay, why don't you just consider, even if you have the money in the bank, it's making the decision to buy this instead of doing chores, instead of giving to others, instead of meeting somebody else's needs. Everything is a trade-off. Okay? Any steak lovers? Anybody love steak? A couple of you guys, you're much more excited about Reese's than steak, but I love, yes. Okay? And okay, so just think about it this way. How many ribeyes is a healthy marriage worth? Where's that scale? Some of you men don't answer. Zip. Well, 2 or 3, okay? It's going to be a bad day for you. Okay? How many 75-inch 4K OLED TVs, okay? What's one of those TVs? How many piggyback rides is that worth? Because when they get bigger, you can't do that anymore, right? You have a limited window to be giddy up horsey, right? I had plenty of those times. I learned, by the way, young dads, I learned that if you do the piggyback ride standing up, it's a lot easier on your knees, okay? You just, okay? We did some piggyback times, okay? It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. When you choose to buy stuff, when you choose to go out and get stuff, you have to give up things to get it. And I have a nice house. And I drive by houses that are much nicer and much bigger than mine. And I'm like, ooh, that's a really nice house. But I have to consider, okay, I could moonlight and take on a second job driving for Amazon, and I could maybe take on a third job consulting for this. And some of you guys have been in that spot. And consider, if you spend all of your time working to gain the big house, and the pool and the dock and the boat, but you never swim in the pool and you never go on the boat because you're never at home to enjoy it, what's the good of the pool and the boat? By the way, it's pools, trucks, and there was one other. Okay, those are things that it's better to know somebody that has one than for you. Okay, just have a friend that has a pool, because you get to come over and swim and you don't have to clean it out every year. And okay, have a friend that has a truck, and then you don't have to move everybody. You just, I just call Henry when I need to. Hey, can you bring your truck? Right? Sometimes you have too much stuff. Stuff has you. You need to break up with stuff. So the first thing is cut back. Second one is this. Write this down. You need to clear out. You need to cut back on the new stuff, but you need to clear out on the stuff you already have. Because I know that you have an area in your house that is an amassing area, a staging ground for junk. I know it, because I do too. Okay? When you're first, okay, how many of you guys who married or adults who went out on your own, how many of you, when you first got your house, you didn't have a whole lot of stuff? Anybody start out kind of small? Yeah, I had some hand-me-down furniture that was really nice. It just didn't all coordinate because it came from different homes, and we didn't care. We just needed to sit on something. We didn't have a lot of stuff, but we did have a junk drawer. How many know? Give me an amen. How many, you need a junk drawer in your house? Okay? Because, look, there has to be some place that the weird battery for your car remote needs to go in, and the pen that you got at that conference needs to go in, and the stuff, the toy that you keep saying you're going to fix as soon as you can find your hot glue gun, and all of those things need a home. But the junk drawer, anybody ever notice this? The junk drawer it's like goldfish. No matter what aquarium you put goldfish in, they grow to the size of the aquarium, okay? And the junk drawer quickly outgrows the drawer, and then, okay, it's like us, then it's like a junk closet, because the drawer's not big enough. So we have a junk closet. Ours was actually outside in the apartment, so we didn't see it all the time. Junk closet. Well, then we outgrew the junk closet, and what's the next? Well, it's the spare room. And we kept saying, we had a basement that was unfinished, and we kept saying, eventually, this is going to be a guest room for Nana and Papa. But right now, I've got the workout equipment, and I've got this guitar case, and we got all these school papers, and someday. Okay? And then it grows out of the junk spare room, then it becomes the junk garage, and your car is really depressed because it's getting snowed on, but there's no room for the garage for the car because the garage is full of stuff. And then it grows into, okay, anybody ever, you don't have to raise your hand, okay? But some of you guys, you get the garage is full and there's still not enough room, so we go out, we consider this. We as Americans go out and rent space at another garage to fill it with the stuff that our car can't fit into the garage because our current garage is full of stuff. And then it's just us. We're still watching the game and the commercial, and we're like, man, I need one of those. Do they have those on Amazon? Okay. Something's broken in there. You have to clear out. You have to clear out this stuff. And I know you're saying, Pastor Chris, I already bought this stuff. It's not a financial problem. I know. But we're trying to break up with this stuff. We're trying to get to a place where we believe that less is more, and we believe that we have stuff and stuff doesn't have us. So you got to clear out. Okay? This is hard, especially if you are a pack rat type person. Okay? It seems like most marriages, there's one who wants to keep the thing and one who wants to get rid of the thing. And I am the get rid of guy. Husbands, let me save you a lot of heartache. Do not go home today and start clearing out without consulting your wife. You would think after 2 or 3 times I would have learned that. I still did not many times, okay? Do it together. Do it together. If you are a pack rat, I'm honest, you need a buddy. You need a helper. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your bestie, maybe it's your friend from high school, somebody else who's not emotionally attached to everything, because some of those stuff, honestly, you just don't need them anymore. You don't need all that stuff. Think about how easier it would be to find the stuff that you want if you don't have to search through 16 gray boxes to find the box with your stuff. Here's just a quick tip. This is practical. This is a Pastor Chris strategy. You go through pull out your storage closet or your junk room or whatever and get 4 different categories. Okay, these are the things I'm going to keep. That goes in this box. These are the things that still have value, but I don't need them. I'm going to sell them. I'm a garage sale guy, okay? eBay is great. These are the things that I don't want to sell, but I can give these away because someone else can wear this shirt that I can't fit into anymore. And then over here is a box of stuff that is legitimately, it's trash, okay? This is destined for drag and dumps. And I don't need it, and nobody actually wants this anymore. It's okay to get rid of it. Here's what's cool, and write this down. Something amazing happens when you own less, you appreciate it more. How many grew up in the age when you didn't have an entire basement full of toys and you just had a couple of, okay? Anybody? I just had a few of those things. Now, legitimately, because my parents might be watching, I had a bunch of G.I. Joes, okay? But I was thinking about this the other day. I love to play video games, all right? The pastor played video games? You bet, man, okay? They're not just for kids anymore, all right? I love to play games. And some of these games are really big. And I thought about this. When I was a kid and a teenager, I would squeeze every last drop out of this game. I knew I got all 120 stars on Mario 64. I found every one of them 3 times. And I never do that anymore. And I thought, why? And it's because I've got a backlog of 13 other games I'm trying to get to. And back then, Mom and Dad were doing the best they could to give me 2 games. And I played the junk out of it. You value it, you appreciate it more when you don't have an enormous amount of stuff. Better to have a few nice things than a whole lot of junk that has you. Last thing to write down under breaking up with stuff, write this down. You need to pay off. Okay, so we're going to cut back. We're going to clear out. We're also going to pay off. Pay off stuff that you don't need that is slowly chipping away at your ability to live a healthy, balanced life. We're going to go deeper on this next week, but let me just give you an intro. When I was in college, I was a poor college kid, and so one summer I worked 3 jobs, which is a terrible idea. But hey, college loans, right? I worked 3 jobs. One of them was Best Buy. Now, I love Best Buy. I buy a lot of stuff from Best Buy. A lot of my toys come from there. But when I worked there, I worked in the digital imaging department because you had to specify digital imaging instead of the film cameras because we were right there in the crossover. Okay, the top model was a 5-megapixel camera that you could print a 4x6 and almost couldn't tell it was digital. That was how we were selling. It's like $800-900 camera. And they told us this when they were training us. They said, listen, it's okay. Always start the customer with the top model of camera. You want to tell that you want the best, and take it off of the shelf and put it in their hands so they can feel it, and they can feel like, I already feel like I own this. And then when they say, oh, this is out of my budget, all you have to say is, oh, that's all right. I'll walk you right down here to customer service. We'll get you a Best Buy credit card, and you can go home with this today. Nothing is ever out of your budget. You can have it now. And our society works that way. As a college student, I got a credit card. And let me tell you, giving credit cards to college students who are broke is like giving kids the key to the candy store. I'll take this, I'll take this, I'll take this, I want that. All my friends have these, I need one too. And you can put anything on payments. I want you to consider something, and again, we'll dig into this more, but write this down. Just because you can make the payment doesn't mean you can afford it. Because all of those little payments add up, and they slowly, like plaque in an artery, they slowly choke out what you have to use on the things that matter until you don't get to choose where your money goes. Ever been there before? You don't get to control where your paycheck goes because all of a sudden Sears and JCPenney and Best Buy and Walmart.com, they have all claimed all of your paycheck. And you ever been in this spot? I just got paid today and I'm already broke. How did this happen? That's been me. Spend this guy. Okay? It's because I want more stuff. And stuff, more is a lie. There's a reason Jesus said, watch out for this and be careful. Because your life is more than the sum of the things that you have. Again, it's a trade-off. Okay? You can go out today and you can go to the car dealership and you can drive home with a shiny brand new car. You could do it, but you shouldn't do it if it's out of your price range. You shouldn't do it if it's going to make it difficult for you to do the things that matter. You shouldn't do it if you'll say, well, I can't tithe anymore. I need to cut back on what I'm giving to missions. I would love to help this kid go to this thing, but I used to do this, but I can't do it anymore because I've got the XLE touring model. And okay, it's a trade-off. And I want to be careful as we wrap this up. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. God is not anti-stuff. Okay? Kate, can you put that very first scripture verse back up on the screen? Better is one handful. Okay? I want you to just remember, okay, because we get overcorrecting in this, and I don't want that to be us. The Bible does not say better to own nothing with peace. It says better to have a handful, but just have some and peace than just keep trying to grab for more and it wear you out. It just strips your gears out. And I don't want you guys to live in a wealthy country and be broke and feel broke because you're trying to hang on to more stuff than is honestly good for you. Better a little nice stuff that you own and that you appreciate than a whole closet full of junk that you don't need that's stressing you out. Because honestly, the sad part is stuff, you may love stuff, but it will never love you back. And it doesn't make your life full. It makes your life cluttered, but it doesn't make you full. See, when you break up with stuff, you expose the lie that says you needed all of this in the first place to be happy. I had this moment when the kids were young. We were transitioning, and being a pastor, changing jobs means changing towns, and we knew a change was coming. And so we sold our house and we moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, you want to talk about being stressed with stuff, cutting your square footage in half is, dear Lord, I don't know where to put any of this stuff. And so we spent several months, longer than we thought we would, with a whole bunch of our stuff at a storage unit. And something amazing happened to me. We got to the end, and we went to pack up the stuff from the storage unit to move into our new house. And I looked at boxes and boxes and boxes, and I said, legitimately, I said, man, I forgot I had that. I didn't even remember it was there. And God used that moment to expose the lie that America has taught to you. And the lie says, if I have more stuff, I will be happy. If I have more stuff, I will be filled. If I have more stuff, at least for the moment, it'll make me feel good. And the reality was, I looked and I said, I've been happy and fulfilled, and I didn't even look at this stuff. This stuff was not what was making me happy. You don't need a full house to have a full life. God said it's better to have a little and to have peace and tranquility. Think about how much better it would be if you could trade some of that stuff. And those of you moms who were like, oof, 40% doesn't seem like enough women who are busy all the time, because that's me. Imagine what it would be if you weren't busy all the time and you had space to sit down and drink hot tea and look at the leaves fall. Dads who have kids at home, imagine what it would be like if you felt like you had time when you got home from work to listen to the kids' story from the day and to look at their drawing and to play games and to go out in the yard and throw the football. How about this? Dads whose kids have grown, what would you give now to go back and do it different? Anything. anything. There are things in life that are just worth more than stuff, and stuff becomes such an icon in your life that the pursuit of stuff keeps you from pursuing the things in life that matter. It keeps you from the relationships in life that matter. No one ever finished their life saying, man, I wish I would have spent more time on more stuff. But a lot of people are on their deathbed saying, I wish I would have spent more time with my wife. I wish I would have gone on that vacation with my kids. I wish I would have had more time to sit down and enjoy what I had. I didn't know it was going to go so fast. So don't fall for the lie. Understand that one handful with tranquility is better. And when God is involved in the equation, less is more. Because your life is spent pursuing the things that matter more. Hey there, just wanted to take a minute to say thanks for watching. If a friend sent you this link, it's because they believe what we talked about today is going to make a positive impact in your life. And if it did, there's probably somebody that you care about who could benefit from it. So take a minute to share this video with somebody. Post it to your timeline or send them a direct link. And if you're able, take a minute to give using the link at the bottom of the description on this video. One last thing. Maybe you feel a tug at your soul and you're ready to take the next step in your spiritual life and form a relationship with God. We've got folks here who would love to talk with you about it. So just text prayer to the number on your screen and we'll follow up with you. It's also in the description on this video in case that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.